All right, now still on matters of universities, the University of Fort Hare is welcoming an SIU investigation at the institution. It's been accused of dishing out honours degrees to people who don't qualify. To discuss this further, we're now joined by University of Fort Hare's Acting Vice-Chancellor, Professor Renuka Vital. Professor, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Now, we understand this is not a very easy time for the university, particularly its management. There's quite a lot on your shoulders apart from actually those honours degrees and the scandal around it. There are allegations of misconduct and corruption, to assassinations, to suspensions of one of your vice-chancellors, and even reports that your very own house is among those that were shot at. Can you just give us a sense of the current state of the university? What exactly is going on?
So first, let me set the record straight on the honours degree. The SIU, the presidential proclamation, specifically focuses not on all honours degrees, but on honours degrees that were awarded in the Department of Public Admin. So what we're talking about are honours degrees in public admin. And we also, according to the proclamation, is focusing on public servants who were admitted into those honours degrees by Professor Ijeoma. So this is linked to the Ijeoma scandal per se, and monies that he had received for admitting public servants into the public admin honours degree. So it's not all the honours degrees, it's just that one particular degree and confined to a particular group of students who were admitted.
All right. Thank you very much for that clarity. It is quite important. So it's the public administration which really applies to public servants. And we know that among the high-profile individuals that were mentioned there would have been Oscar Mabuyane, the current Premier of Eastern Cape. So it pertains to that. Not all honours degrees, but what we do know is that after speaking to the SIU, they said this remains the scope, but it could be broadened should they find impropriety at any other level.
Yes. So we will deal with the cases, but if you read the proclamation, it specifies that specific area. But yes, of course, if they find any other, admissions of public servants or any other, they will raise it. We ourselves have, as you are aware, dealt with those cases that when we became aware of what Professor Ijeoma had done during the time he was the head of department, we have dealt with all of those cases already. So this is a very specific focus on public servants who were admitted on our Bishu campus, during the time he was the head of department.
And we understand that Professor Ijeoma is no longer with the institution, am I correct?
That's right. He stepped down as head of department already in 2019 when some of this began to become, we became aware of it. And then there was a disciplinary action taken against him in 2020, and then he resigned. But there is still an ongoing case related to his involvement in the university, and the SIU that will be included in the investigations.
Then talk to us about the other aspects of the scope or the other parts of this investigation. It will deal with corruption, misconduct, misappropriation of funds. Talk to us about that.
So some of these cases, as you see in the proclamation, are going back 10, 20 years. Where contracts were signed and various other activities undertaken that have negatively impacted the university. So, yes, we are in the process as a university of dealing with all kinds of misconduct or criminal activity that was going on. And we are putting in place now, procedures and policies and so on that regulate work in the university. I know that it might seem from the outside when people read these issues of, threats as well as, people actually losing their lives. But the academic programs are continuing. The management has put in place security so that we can continue with our work. Of course, these are all aimed at intimidating and trying to prevent us from dealing with what needs to be dealt with as we move the university forward. The university is doing very well in terms of its academic programs, which are beyond reproach. We've come through a CHE doctoral review process. We have submitted our self-evaluation report for the CHE, the Council on Higher Education Institutional Audit. They will be on our campus as they are on a number of campuses at the moment. Where they are looking at undertaking audits of institutions. They will be on our campus in October. So work is continuing. The university is running. Students are busy with their work while we attend to these other matters so that we do recover monies, large amounts of monies that were lost in this way, and also bring people to book. Who have, negatively impacted the university.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're saying is that the current management is in no way under scrutiny or being investigated per se. But what happened is you sounded the alarm on contracts that were entered into by your predecessors.
So, yes, I mean, where there is wrongdoing, like a university where any wrongdoing is reported, investigated, then the necessary steps follow. The SIU is focusing on the past, on contracts that were already awarded, but they also have indicated that the way they uncover things, even now or in the recent past, they will be dealing with those. And the university has signed an MOU with the SIU precisely because we require their assistance for dealing with these kinds of investigations, and so that the necessary actions can be taken to their conclusion, so that where people are charged and undergo whatever processes, that those processes happen. We have internally on an ongoing basis where wrongdoing is uncovered, the necessary investigations take place, and where it's shown that, staff need to be disciplined, that has happened. And it will continue to happen as it does in all universities in order to ensure that there's good governance.
Professor, I'm sure you wouldn't want to make it about you, but we must ask, how are you doing? Because, I mean, they shot at your house. Are you perhaps relieved at the fact that the SIU is now taking over, where a body outside of the management is now dealing with this matter, where you guys can't be victimized or singled out?
That is true. That, yes, I think... look, in the Eastern Cape and in some places in our country, these sort of things appear to be happening on a routine basis. So it is intended to scare and intimidate. But we are going to continue our work. And yes, we are very pleased that the SIU are investigating, and we're expecting arrests to be made and for these investigations to be concluded, so that we can deal with these issues and put them to bed. But it's not impacting us negatively. We continue to recruit staff. We do have applications, and we continue to run the university in the way that it should be run, with good governance. So I suppose it's part of life in South Africa that we cope with whatever happens. But I think we have to do the work to restore institutions to function efficiently and serve the people they're meant to serve.
No, Professor, thank you very much for your time. And it's great that you are laying many spheres that it is continuing, at least the work of academia is continuing in such an iconic institution as Fort Hare. Thank you very much for your time. That is Deputy Vice-Chancellor Renuka Vital speaking to us.